All right, thanks for that, Danny. Well, the Sebastian County Sheriff's Office is responding to video spreading across social media showing deputies hitting a man in the county jail.
Yeah, the sheriff says John Anthony Cole spread the video online after suing the sheriff's office. Now, that video, he says, is missing crucial context. Now, we do want to warn you, it might be hard to watch. So to give you a second here, a little background, Cole stabbed 2 deputies at the jail with a shank last year. He was in jail after investigators connected him to a murder. The video shows when deputies took Cole to the jail's medical unit moments after that stabbing. Now, there will be a box over Cole there to protect his medical privacy.
The sheriff there, Mike Conger, says that the redaction box hides the moment Cole bit down on one of their hands. He says that that is what prompted the use of force by those deputies. Conger says that those deputies did what they had to do in that moment to keep everyone in the room safe.
Right before the deputies began striking him, Cole, the same man who moments earlier tried to murder 2 deputies, savagely bit down on the deputy's hand, and he wouldn't let go. Those strokes you see in the video, the deputy's trying to get the violent man to release his bite from another deputy's hand. That's what it is, and that's exactly what is hidden from your social media.
Now, Conger says he stands by his deputies but has asked state police to independently review this use of force. A news conference that had been scheduled for today has been canceled because of an ongoing lawsuit and that state police review. And U.S. Marshals offering a $5,000 reward for a man they say is connected to a murder out of Springdale. Now, Daquan Armand, take a look, is accused of driving 68-year-old Ray Jordan to Springdale to allegedly kill Dwan Ray Simone Livingston back in 2023. Jordan was arrested and is in Pulaski County Jail. Now police say they're looking for Armand, who was last seen in Little Rock but has ties to Kansas City, Missouri, and Knoxville, Tennessee, where he attended college. If you know his whereabouts, contact U.S. Marshals, or you can submit a tip on their website.
Well, 2 people are dead after a hostage situation turned into a shooting in Oklahoma. CJ Macklin has the story.
Deadly confrontation unfolded at 9 a.m. on the Will Rogers Turnpike. 4 officers from 2 departments, 3 from Miami Police and 1 from Quapaw, were involved in the officer-involved shooting. Both occupants of the stolen vehicle are dead. The male driver who exchanged gunfire with police and the female passenger. The cause of the woman's death remains under investigation. Miami Police Chief Stephen Sigmund says the chase was brief but intense.
There was a call that went out that the subject driving the vehicle had fired some shots. At that point, my officers started responding to the turnpike to assist. The vehicle pulled off here into the Welcome Center, then exited the vehicle, fled on foot. My officers gave chase. Once they got to the other side of the turnpike, shots were exchanged and the subject was shot.
All 4 officers are now on paid administrative leave pending a full investigation. This multi-agency incident has been turned over to the OSBI and FBI for investigation. The Oklahoma Highway Patrol also responded to the scene. OHP has a program called Critical Instant Response Team for Officer Wellness. They are on the scene to help the officers involved to decompress in a confidential setting.
Amazing video coming out of Texas after a plane crashed on a busy highway. 1 person died, at least 5 were injured in the small plane crash overnight. Authorities say contact between the plane and air traffic controllers failed shortly before the collision. This video was shared by witnesses at the scene, where emergency crews and bystanders helped people get off the burning aircraft. Police have yet to release the names of those on the plane.
And we're following the latest on the primary elections out of Oklahoma.
On Tuesday, voters decided on a proposal to raise the state's minimum wage. It looks like voters said no. The minimum wage would have gradually increased over the next 3 years from $7.25 to $15 an hour.
And moving on to the governor's race, 9 Republican candidates were looking to move on. The Associated Press reporting that Gentner Drummond and Mike Mazie will advance to a runoff election in August. Meanwhile, 3 Democrats are vying for their party's nomination. State Representative Cindy Munson won by an almost 50% margin, beating out former state Senator Connie Johnson.
Well, Fayetteville residents can now own miniature sheep after a recent change to city code.
Yeah, the resident who brought the idea to City Council is now among the first to take advantage of the new rules. 5 News reporter Claire Everbach joining us to explain. Good morning, Claire.
Good morning, Joe, Tiffany. That ordinance passed earlier this month unanimously by the city council. There was one resident who was behind it all, who now has 2 sheep of her own. I got to meet her as well as her 2 sheep yesterday. She has a white and a black one, and they certainly are becoming accustomed to the Fayetteville community. They are quite friendly. You do need to have a minimum of 2 sheep if you are interested in purchasing them. Let's break it all down. The ordinance requires residents that under certain conditions they can own sheep. That includes lot size requirements, registration with animal services, and a minimum of 2 animals. City leaders say many sheep can provide benefits like grazing and educational opportunities for families. Kayla Rath, the resident who brought the idea to city council, says her family spent time researching different animals before deciding sheep were the right fit.
We briefly considered goats, but they are more destructive. They're harder to keep in. They will eat literally everything. We do have a large garden and apple trees and things like that, so I was trying not to get them to just mow everything down, and they play harder. We've got 4 kids that are in the backyard playing all the time, so we wanted something to be more gentle and calm, and so far they've been exactly that.
Rath says that since she's adopted her animals and introduced them to the neighborhood, she's gotten several questions from neighbors who are interested in purchasing sheep of their own. If you are interested in doing so, you can review the rules and the regulations on our website, 5newsonline.com. Joe, Tiffany.
Thanks for that, Claire. Those sheep are pretty cute. Do we need one? My yard's not big enough.
Okay, well, you got to be prepared to own one.
Yeah, and my yard's not big enough, so it would never work.
There you go.
Well, now to a lawsuit over records tied to Swarm Arrow. A Washington County judge heard arguments on Tuesday.
Yeah, Ted Swedenberg claims the city of Fayetteville failed to provide all records related to the drone manufacturing company after he filed a public records request. Now, Swedenberg later filed a lawsuit claiming that signed non-disclosure agreements between the city and Swarm were not provided to him. His attorney argues emails included in those records reference discussions about non-disclosure agreements between the 2 sides, meaning those documents should have also been provided. The city attorney says Swedenberg only requested communication, not official documents.
We gave them a whole bunch of emails, and all the emails we had that were related to Swarm Arrow. We have to do that very quickly, within 72 hours usually, so we have to get it out and get it done and get it to them, and that's what we did.
Now, the judge has not yet issued a ruling and is currently taking, he says, the matter under advisement.
Meanwhile, the Fayetteville City Council has approved new regulations for data centers. Future projects will now be required to get a conditional use permit. That allows the Planning Commission to weigh potential environmental factors coming from the data centers more closely. The centers would also have to provide reports on water usage, electricity demand, and other community impacts. We don't know of any proposed data center projects in the city, but council members say that the new regulations will help them get ahead as more facilities are built nationwide.